And he said, I can tell you I hate to fly anymore.
I think that anyone who's been travelling by air for some years will have noticed that air travel has in general become more impersonal, less comfortable, less elegant. Do you think that this is an inevitable trend?
Against this backdrop, this discussion, I'd like you to keep in mind that fares today are a consumer's bonanza. But yes, I think we are going to a transportation system that is less personalized, less luxurious than it used to be. We'll carry easily 40 million passengers this year. That's moving a lot of people around the country. And I think people will have to realize also that for these low fares and for the convenience of this transportation system, you sacrifice a little luxury, a little space, you experience a less personalized level of service. Air travel is not the big thing it used to be. Look at the way people dress today. When I grew up and we went on an airplane trip, you wore your Sunday best, and you might put on white gloves and a hat. And anymore, you know, you travel in your blue jeans and your running shoes, and it's a very casual thing. People accept it. Watch how children grow up with air travel today. They grow up with it very, very naturally. It's become the bus service of the nation.
Who's driving that one over there? My dog. What's he doing in there? His girlfriend is playing Washington, D.C.
But even today, no bus service ever gave its passengers what the airlines provide as a matter of course. Whether it's pets or unaccompanied children, special provisions are made.
Coming in on 367, connecting North Central, Flight 705, to RST, which is Rochester, Minnesota, we have an unaccompanied Helt Me.
Could you spell that, please? H-E-L-T-N-E. Okay.
The extra staff needed to care for young children and other special travelers is one more cost in the price of all plane tickets. As costs are pruned and services simplified, one wonders if these special provisions will survive.
Over to your next flight, okay? How was your trip so far?
This is the wheelchair center. How soon would you be ready to pre-board a wheelchair passenger? Okay, fine, thank you. We'll send them right down.
Despite everything the airlines can do for passengers, despite all the technology, even for the able-bodied, air travel today can be an ordeal. Something very simple can utterly paralyze the system.
Box 4. Heavy thunderstorms in the next half hour. Be prepared to ground your airplanes.
Fog, snow, and fierce storms can still keep planes grounded for hours or even days. Passengers pile up at airports, checking in for flights that will not move. This is the worst aspect of air travel today, getting marooned with thousands of others in the concrete desolation of a great air terminal at the mercy of foul weather. And it happens often enough to wipe out what remains of the romance of flying. The airlines know this very well, but no solution seems to be in sight. This surely is one of life's most dreary experiences.
In the early morning rain, with $1 in my hand, and an aching in my heart, and my pockets full of sand. I'm a long way from home, and I miss my loved ones so. In the early morning rain, with nowhere to go, this old airport's got me down. It's no earthly good to me.
As the man said, airports certainly do get us down. As they get bigger and busier, we the passengers become more confused, bored, angry, and frustrated. We suffer increasingly from stress failure, from airport heart attacks and nervous breakdowns. In Chicago, to add to the normal aggravations, they regularly have the kind of weather that brings flying to a complete halt.
Out on runway number 9, big 707 set to go. I'm stuck here on the ground, where the cold winds blow. Look tastes too good, and the women all are fast. There she goes, my friend, she's a rolling down at last.
The men who have to keep the planes rolling.
We'll save a lot of overtime doing it this way. Good decision.
If you stop in San Francisco, we have to recrew with pilots also. Well, darn right. Plus, probably having a junior man in the crew, but...
Now they're adding this West Coast stop because they can only get 5 flight attendants, and 7 is the legal minimum. And 14 is the usual complement. And I better warn Ed over here at O'Hare.
Yeah. Tell them to come through for us.
Ed, another problem has reared its ugly head on Flight 3. When we asked about flight attendants, Ord SW says they have only 5 overwater flight attendants. It takes a minimum of 7 to operate the flight.
To run an airline that flies 364 aircraft over an 18,000-mile route system serving 113 cities, to get the aircraft and the crews in the right place at the right time, and to select the most economical way of doing it, is a task of such importance and complexity that it can only be done with the help of United's Apollo computer. This dependency has made the airline ever more nervous of the possibility, however remote, of sabotage.
So much so that they've asked me not to reveal where their main computer center is. So all I shall say is that somewhere, way out west, on top of a hill, in a rather fortress-like building, is the home of Apollo.
Behind the iron gates and all the sophisticated electronic protection lies one of the largest computers not in the hands of the American Armed Forces. In its shining air-conditioned palace, Apollo enables United Airlines to function, even at a time when everything is straining at the seams. The tasks performed by it and its fellow systems grow more involved daily. Apart from reservations, they look after the inventories of spare parts, keep the accounts, pay the wages and salaries, and even help train the pilots. As a United Airlines passenger, it's hardly an exaggeration to say that you're in the hands of the computer from the moment you make your booking. And yet, we judge an airline not by its technology, but by the human touch.
You wanted yours with rum, though. Ooh, that's going to be a strong one. I think I overdid it.
United's prestigious Flight Number 1 from Chicago to Hawaii. On this flight, the airline will attempt to provide some of the elegance and service that has been a traditional part of air travel. Little touches like plastic flowers, exotic drinks, and even special uniforms for the flight attendants. 9 hours non-stop to Hawaii. 40 years ago, when the luxurious flying boats first flew this route, the same journey took 48 hours, and it was exclusively for the rich. Today, even traveling first class and enjoying much of the comfort of the past, the fare is a fraction of what they paid in the 30s.
These are poo-poos.
What was that?
Poo-poos. That's Hawaiian for hors d'oeuvres.
Did you give her some wine or champagne with your dinner?
It's little wonder that a recent survey revealed that the American public, facing persistent inflation, finds air travel the best bargain going. But all this, one should remember, is first class.
Oh, this is very good. Dressing is Japanese dressing. Would you like pepper?
This is just a salad. The entree will be coming very shortly.
Back in the economy section, among the bargain hunters, comparisons with the past are even more astounding.
Would you like some soft drinks or milk with your lunch?
Incredibly, it's more than twice as cheap to fly to Hawaii than it was 40 years ago. But the only luxury provided here is the prose style of the menu.
Royal Hawaiian specialty, chicken teriyaki. Tender chicken is marinated in a special teriyaki sauce, baked until golden brown and surrounded by Hawaiian-style rice and a combination of crispy oriental vegetables. Sounds mouth-wateringly good, as the advertisers would say. Well, that's what it looks like. And
Nothing special for the crew. They eat the same as the economy class passengers. Except they must all choose a different dish. In case of food poisoning, there'll be enough survivors to complete the journey. Today, on a long-haul flight, the greatest problem for passengers and crew alike is boredom. At least in first class, there is a seemingly endless provision of titbits and free drinks to pass the time. And even more important, on a 747, there's the extra space of the upstairs lounge, where you can stretch your legs, play cards, or even sleep. On this journey, it was little used and seemed like wasted space. Space that would have been so welcome to those cooped up in the economy sections. Here, passengers are discouraged from moving around.
Here you are, a middle-aged man, suddenly finds himself alone, grows a beard, goes berserk with his sexual fantasies. Please, stop with the psychology 101.
Do it real easy.
Fortunately, the in-flight entertainment is occasionally supplemented by a resourceful passenger.
How do you do that? Now, this is the easy way to do it. See? Now, you want to see a hard one? That's an easy way to do it.
He wants to see you do another one.
So today, in the age of mass mobility, 60 years after it all started, air travel is no longer a luxury product. In the old days, there were bars, beds, and even honeymoon suites. Meals were served as in a first-class restaurant, and the flight attendant's job was undoubtedly glamorous. Today, on a full wide-bodied jet carrying 400 passengers, cabin crew face an exhausting spell of fetching and carrying, followed by complete collapse. But still, thousands of girls dream of the day that they'll pin on their wings and take to the air.
Bunny Durakis, Lisa Sabo. Sue Kelson, Nancy Camacho. Irene Morton, Lori Hardy.
It's graduation day for a new flock of flight attendants. They enter the industry at a time of rapid change. The future could well see 600-seat aircraft, self-service meals, and a job for them that loses its glossy appeal. But that's tomorrow. For these girls, today is the day.
Kiss today goodbye. The sweetness and the sorrow. Wish me luck the same to you. But we can't regret what we did for love, what we did for love. Look, my eyes are dry. This dream was ours to borrow. It's as if we always knew. But we won't forget what we did for love, what we did for love. Gone, love is never gone. As we travel on, love's what will remain.
This was the picture of air travel at the end of 1978.